Hello, hello, everyone. We are back for another episode of Teens Biz Talk. So excited that you can join us today because we have an extraordinary person here to share some wonderful things about her business, about her life. And I know she is going to have so much information that you other teen entrepreneurs that are listening are just going to be able to take it and run with it. So you do not want to miss not one moment of this episode. But before we jump into this with her, just want to let you know that today's episode is being sponsored by Bateman Empowering Educators. At Bateman Empowering Educators, we take away the trial and error method of your teenager learning about money and replace it with a practical blueprint to equip them to create a 5-star financial future. So make sure you click on the link below to find out more information, tips, and resources that we have available for you. And now, here we go with our guest today, who is Miss Kayden Grace Swan, actress, author, and entrepreneur. Hello, Kayden. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I am well. I am well. Thank you so much for taking time out of your super busy schedule to come and talk with our community today. We are so excited. And so, as I just introduced you, actress, author, entrepreneur, it's like, wow, there's so much within each of those things. But why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm your average 14-year-old girl. I love K-pop, outdoors, being creative, helping out. I love my friends, my family. Pretty much anything that involves me being hands-on and helpful is my favorite thing to do.
Awesome. That all sounds so great. So you spoke about the creative aspect. Are there any other ways, and we'll jump into just a moment, what inspired you to actually get into acting, but are there other ways that you express your creativity outside of acting?
I love to draw, to paint. Sometimes I'll just have random, like my creative juices will just randomly start flowing and I see creativity in literally everything. So I love painting, drawing, creating new things. Besides writing, that's another way of me expressing my creativity. I just love being creative. It's really a part of who I am.
Great. And so if you can share what inspired you to get into acting?
What inspired me to get into acting was ever since I was little, I have always noticed that I would catch myself watching TV and saying, I could do this better. And it's something I hold very dearly close to me. And it's something I'm very passionate about. I did a one-woman play at my elementary school. And that's when my family realized I was really dedicated and passionate about acting. And I got an agent and a manager. And I've just been on the roll ever since.
Great. Well, it's so good to hear. You mentioned that your parents were able to see that spark in you and see your dedication and give you that support. What do you do? So I can only imagine, with being in school and then acting and then, what you're doing in terms of an author and the demands that requires, and then having your own business. What do you do to stay focused and motivated in order to get things done?
To stay motivated and focused, for me, it's really doing my best and trying my hardest and really being passionate about it to be the best that I am at whatever I do. And that's what keeps me motivated. And what keeps me focused is practicing. Really, to keep you focused on anything is practicing. I mean, that's the key to everything.
Yeah. So you mentioned, so you have those things, the practicing and kind of sticking with it. Other than your parents being supportive, who else is like kind of in your life or your tribe that helps keep you going?
All of my close friends, I have a few friends that are really supportive of what I do no matter what, which I very strongly, deeply appreciate, because it's important to have that small circle, not even small circle, that good circle of friends that are always there for you and supportive, and you guys support each other. That's what builds a good friendship in this industry, especially.
Mm. So, again, I can only imagine some of the challenges that you must have come across, over your years of acting and, maybe going for a particular role and getting it or not getting it. Is there a particular business challenge that you can think of that you've encountered that has really helped you to grow as a person and also just, as an actress, as an artist?
Yes. So for my entrepreneurship and my business, um, personally, it's really that I've learned that like people will treat businesses different from, for example, my small business. So they pay top dollar for Gucci or any designer brand or any brand really, and expect that just because I'm not top dollar or top brand that I should be giving a discount or somewhat. But really, I think it's supposed to be you should respect me and my business the same way you would treat other businesses. And for acting, it's really that don't take no's as like, don't be hard on yourself about the no's if you don't book something. Just take it as this role wasn't meant for you and there's some things you could work on. Constructive criticism, basically.
Mm.
And what I do is if I don't book a role, I'll watch that role to see what they were going for and what they did different from what I did different. So I could take notes on how to add little perks to the next role I try and audition for.
That is very helpful. I am jotting that down for even opportunities that I feel in the past, like, oh man, I should have gotten that. But I really like that, taking a look at it and just, with a different lens and seeing, how can we look at it as an opportunity for growth and development. Very good. And so you just mentioned a couple of times in a couple of your answers about your business. Would you like to share more about the business side of you? We just chatted a bit about the actor side, but a little more about the business side?
Well, I create jewelry, customized jewelry, and shirts. I'm wearing one of my shirts right now, the little swan on.
Nice. Okay.
And everything I do is hand created. I created my website with help of my mom and whatnot. But when I decided I wanted to do this business, I realized like it can't just be, oh, I want to do a business and leave it at that. No, it's really hard work and dedication. You have to know your sales, your pricing, and your inventory, all that kind of stuff. It's important to know when you're starting a business.
Most definitely. And so, how did you go about learning those things? So, when I ask that, I'm sure there are some other teenagers that are listening now, and either they're just getting started or they're thinking about getting started, but they maybe have not been privy to the type of financial education that comes along with, running a business successfully. So, how were you able to learn about these things, understanding the importance of your sales numbers and your expenses and, the difference between profit and revenue and things of that nature?
I was able to do that because I did my research on it before I decided I wanted to do my
Mhm.
business, like I said before,
Mhm.
so that I could really know what I was doing and not have any, I guess you could somewhat say, mishaps or mistakes, so that I could have a nice, smooth business without any problems, knowing my inventory and my sales and my prices.
Hmm. Wow, and that is so important. Thank you for sharing that. Just doing the research beforehand and not just, oh, it sounds like such a great idea, but doing that kind of behind the scenes work to help ensure your success. Wow. And so, what type of changes do you see happening? So, kind of what I mean behind that question is, you have your experiences that you're having in school, and, just even in these last couple of years, just how things have changed in that way. And then I'm sure you're seeing some other things just, within the acting world about how things are being done different. So, what type of changes do you see happening, and how can other teens and teen entrepreneurs adjust?
Changes I see happening are it's a lot, since the pandemic happened. we've all been stuck stuck at home, and which has really given teenagers a chance to express their creativity and be creative and do all this motivational kind of stuff to kind of help us get through this pandemic, not being able to hang out with our friends as much. We kind of feel, I guess you could say, somewhat alone. So I think it's important to, connect with your family that you live in the house with and take time to yourself to just really think, what can I do today that's going to motivate me to try my hardest and do my best?
Mm. Mm. I like that. Thank you for that. And so some may look at you and say, wow, look at Kayden, and she's an actress, and she's on Nickelodeon's The Astronauts, and she's doing this and she's doing that. She's made it. She's successful. How would you define success? What does that mean for you?
Success for me is being the best at whatever I'm passionate about and
Mm.
trying my hardest in achieving a goal I've set for myself. That's what I define success as for myself.
Mm. Wow. And so in terms of goals, how do you set those? Do you set them for like 6 months or 1 year or 5 years?
It really depends on what kind of goal I'm going for. So, for example, in the next year, or maybe no, in the next 3 years, I would like to write and direct a horror movie with all of my friends. I would also love within the next 5 years to become an activist and a spokesperson. But within the next year, I just want to encourage and empower teenagers my age that just because life isn't the same as it used to be doesn't mean it's the end.
Mm. Wow. That is great. You all heard it here first. There is so much more that is going to happen with Kayden. Very excited about that. And so I'm sure along the way, people have tried to, tell you, oh, you should do this or you should do that, or, I'm going to give you this advice or that advice. Can you share what is the best advice that you've ever received? And then what is the worst advice that you've received?
So, the best advice I've ever received is definitely that not every role is going to be for you, but it's okay because there's always a role that is for you. And to keep trying and pushing yourself to try harder and don't give up. And the worst advice I've probably ever received was if you don't reach your goal, don't keep trying to reach it.
Hmm.
Which that kind of it didn't make sense to me for someone to say that, which it ended up pushing me more harder to reach for my goal, which I did reach.
Mhm.
And I was just kind of baffled that someone would say that. I don't like to surround myself with negative energy or negative people. So that kind of threw me off for a second, but it also encouraged me to push myself harder.
Wow. Yeah. Well, really glad you were able to turn that around and be able to use it, for your good on that one. And so, are there any other suggestions or recommendations that you may have for other teenage entrepreneurs who are just starting out? I know you've already mentioned the importance of doing your research before,
Yes.
and even maybe just speak a little bit on how to research, right? Because it's a little bit more than just typing something in Google and being done with it.
I would say kind of study other businesses and notice what they're doing so you can also improve on yours. And it might be rough in the beginning, but that doesn't mean get up or give up. Always keep pushing yourself and it'll get easier and better. And then you can kind of define yourself as successful.
Great. Wow. That is absolutely great. Well, we've covered a lot. Those who are listening, I hope you were taking notes. I know I was. Covered a lot. You shared just the importance of staying focused and motivated, having that core group of people that are there to support you, to help guide you. You also talked about the importance of not having that negative energy, right, around you in your space. Was there anything else you wanted to share with us that we actually didn't cover?
For the entrepreneurship, try, if you're going to start a small business, or a business, I shouldn't even say small business. If you're going to start a business, try looking at what's trending around your audience, what's popular, and create off of that, or even go back like maybe 20 years and see what was trending back then. And maybe you could even create something and bring it back and blow up.
Wow. Yes, thank you. That is great advice. Great advice. And for those who are going to actually take action on what Kayden just suggested, please be sure to go ahead and drop that in the comments below if you actually did that and how that worked out for you. I know I love to hear about it. I'm sure Kayden would like to know just how much she was able to help encourage and motivate someone. So, wow, this was so great. Once again, Kayden, thank you, thank you, thank you for taking time to come talk with us. I know our community was super, super grateful to be able to hear these great, great gems that you dropped, and just hear a little bit more about you and who you are. And please let us know, how can our community connect with you?
You can connect with me on Instagram at Kayden Bray Swan and shoot me a DM. We could definitely connect.
Okay, sounds great. So thank you again. And to everyone listening, I just want to remind you that everything in creation was created with a gift inside of it. That includes you. So go out there and share your gift with the world. Until next time.